Hello and welcome to the Impactful Introvert podcast. I'm your host, Seema Pateel, a business coach for introverted women with online services. I help you implement a marketing strategy, the shortest path to your next client, in a way that feels completely personalized to you. That is what I do for my clients. And today I have something that I want to talk to you, and I want you to pay attention to this because this, I believe very, very strongly, that is going to change how you're going to market given that summer is coming up. I'm a mom of two. Uh, I know most moms start to feel like things will slow down because kids will be home longer. You want to spend time. So, this is going to help with that as well. Let's talk about that moment in business that no one really prepares you for. When you have been showing up, you have been consistent, you've followed the advice, posted the content, maybe even you've seen some small increase in followers every few days or weeks, and sometimes you get DMs from people. But when it comes to client conversions, the actual sales, that that part, it still feels like a blue moon or a pink strawberry moon kind of an event. Like, it's so infrequent. At least it's infrequent where you stand from. Like, you've listened to the advice, and all the marketers say do this and this is the result you'll see, but you're struggling to see the results as they claim you should be able to see. And now you're sitting there, thinking, what do I do? Like, what can I do so that I have a steadier flow of clients? You want to keep the momentum going because you have worked hard to build it, but to be honest, you're feeling tired, you're feeling disheartened, and honestly, you have very little desire to keep pushing for the sake of it. Like, you don't want to burn out, you don't want to do things just because people say, and like mindlessly keep doing the work. So everything starts to feel so heavy. So it feels like taking action feels futile, and you're stuck in this weird space between wanting to keep up the momentum and wondering if it even makes sense. That is what we are unpacking today, that stuckness. Not because you're lazy or inconsistent or unclear or uncertain or any of those things, which you're thinking about, I know, but because the effort you've already put in hasn't translated into the kind of results you thought it would. So, if you're in that place, this episode is for you. If you're thinking about, oh my god, how am I going to handle summer? This episode is for you. All right. So, when you're in this feeling of stuckness, that is when all the promotional content that you're seeing, when you're mindlessly scrolling, it gets to you the most. Like that person hosting a webinar so that they can teach you how to sell in 3 simple steps, or that person who has a low ticket offer to help you write sales emails that is converted like amazing results for some of their people. All of those start to feel like they are specifically targeted towards you. I know that feeling is not really good, because how many times can you keep investing in things and not see the results promised because you feel like you're doing something wrong, because you feel like you're the reason why it's not working and it's working for everybody else. So today I'll help you step out of the inaction, the feeling stuckness, and stay the course in 3 simple steps. Now, what I want to tell before I share the steps is, listen, I'm not saying drop everything you're doing and do as I say, just implement these 3 steps. That would not be very genuine, honest of me as a coach. So that is not what I'm saying. But yes, when you're like, this is what the messy middle is, where you're doing the work, it is feeling like things are working, but it's not working at the pace you want, and you just want to shake things up so that things move. Being in that space is very, very hard. I can say from experience, it's very, very hard. And it's not just hard for you or me. I know there are a lot of people in that space who are, that is the space where many people make the mistake of trying to shake things up to move things faster, and that's what slows everything down. So it's not that it's wrong of you to feel the feelings in this space. It's about how are you handling it. If you can do the mindset work that I don't care, things, I'm feeling these things, and that's okay, but I'm able to take action. Amazing. Congratulations. You're in a lot better space than a lot of people. Keep up the great work. Stay the course. Do your strategy. Whatever action needs to be taken, take it. All right? But if you've been in that space, and what I mean by shake things up, like, I know you're not alone, but here's what you may have tried and not really seen the success is, like, you've downloaded the content or the process prompts, templates, etc. Now AI prompts and the templates, the Notion template, the ClickUp template, the whatever new tool that can help you in getting ideas. Like I myself have shared templates, so content templates where what to post for the next 4 weeks, what kind of content to create, how to create your content pillars, so on and so forth. I have downloaded millions of them, okay, zillions of them, and I have shared my own things with my clients, which is quite helpful. I am not denying, but it gets you into the space of wanting to rework a lot of things, which means it's very exciting. At least for me, newness, the new, implementing the new thing feels exciting, but it kind of disturbs the momentum that I have been building with whatever strategy I had decided, whatever content strategy I had decided and started with, and I'm working on. You probably may be listening to a lot of productivity books because you think you don't have the necessary knowledge or information that'll help you be more productive. Maybe you're just not making the best of the time that you have, because as moms, we do work in smaller sections of focused work hours, or maybe like your max focused time could be 30 minutes, not even an hour. So you think that you need a productivity hack or some tactic that's going to help you be more productive so that you can take action. Again, that could work for in the short term, but in the long term, I don't know if trying to you may have to make some adjustments, but I still feel like as a mom, and mine are like preteens and don't need me as much, but still I feel like I have to be there because suddenly anything can happen, and mommy, she's doing this can come up where I have to listen to a monologue of 5 minutes simply to say something that is going to diffuse the tension that my kids are having. So the focused time to work is not necessarily 100% focused. And you may be listening to a lot of podcasts so that you can get some ideas on what strategy to implement, like how to improve your strategy. If your current strategy is fitting, then you probably would be seeing the success. So maybe that strategy needs some changes, some secret hack that you haven't yet found or recognized, and that is what you're looking for in the podcast you listen to. So again, none of these is wrong. Nothing like improve me. I myself listen to podcasts. I read books to learn, to improve. But listening to all of these with the intent to suddenly shake up and see results is definitely not the right way to approach it. Because see, all of these things, whether it's podcasts, the books, or the templates for processes or content, etc., they are all simply tools, and tools are only as good as you use them. I'm not trying to say you're not the right person to use them, or you're using them wrong. It's just that sometimes you don't even need to improve the tool or change the tool. Sometimes you just have to stick with it. This is the part where patience is necessary. But sometimes you may not even be in that place. I listened to an amazing podcast before recording this one, where uh, this person is talking about leveraging AI. I love how I use AI. I find great use for it. And she had some really amazing recommendations. Like, she's telling us how she's using AI, and it's just trying to inspire us to leverage AI. And I'll be honest, though the recommendations are amazing, implementing those in my business would not be the right thing, because my business is not the same as hers. My situation is not the same as hers. The way I work with clients is not the same as her. So I could I can appreciate how amazing the content she's shared is and not implement it, because it's not necessarily the right time for me. So again, you need to know when the given recommendation or tool or whatever is the best thing for you. That also makes a difference. So you may have been trying to change things, all of the things, the the recommendations are all going to help you when you are already in alignment with what you want to do and have committed to it. And when you're aligned, you will know with a little bit of contemplation if it's the right tool for you, if it's the right method for you, if it's the right strategy for you. By the way, commitment doesn't mean that you're stuck doing things as they are. Commitment means that you'll do everything in your power to stay with the strategy. And it is in your power to see what needs to be tweaked so that you can stay with the strategy, so that you can stick with it in the long run, so that you can see the results. Like, if you've committed to posting to Instagram 5 days a week, then understand that not all 5 days of posts has to be something where you teach, where a how to or a tip is being given. That's not only exhausting for you, like creating that much content, that much educational content is not only exhausting for you as the creator, it is quite exhausting for the consumer also. That could probably be the reason why your reach is reduced. Like, people see, oh wow, great tip, and they scroll forward, because in that moment when they opened the app and your content was shown to them, they were not in the right mindset to learn something. They were scrolling mindlessly, and that doesn't help. So instead, on two or three of those 5 days, if you shared something different, not something where they have to learn, where they have to pay attention and learn, like an aha moment you had, or your client had, or your friend, partner, sibling, child, anybody had. Like, it need not even necessarily 100% be business. It's just something that struck someone. You share that, or you share something that you noticed that probably you've been ignoring. For example, it's spring and flowers blooming, and you're looking at it from a fresh perspective after winter. It looks so pretty. Just share that. Share a picture and say, I love seeing these on my walks. Amazing. It doesn't have to be heavy. Or you could share something funny that you read about or you listened to. Or you could share about why a certain song is playing on an infinite loop in your player currently. Anything. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be hard hitting, mind blowing, perception changing kind of content all the time. So, when you post these lighter content, your people who are curious to get to know you can actually get to know you. That is what committing means, at least in the context of marketing. So, if all of these feels like I know, but I still feel so paralyzed, then listen on and implement what I'm going to talk about immediately. Do this, like, I'm insisting that implement it immediately because I promise you this will take you about 30 minutes in total to implement. And once you have done the 3 things that I'm going to share with you, you can go back to doing the work that you love, that is to serve your clients, or scroll mindlessly if you want. Like, that is up to you. But you'll have done the things that are going to move the needle without having to feel like, oh my God, I didn't do what I was planning to, and now my business is not going to be the success that I want it to be. Now I'm not going to hit the goals as I want to. So that guilt, that'll be alleviated because you did take action that is going to move the needle. So here are those 3 things. I'll just list them out. Number 1, comment on the most recent post by the person you consider your role model. This is the person who's doing what you're doing, and you admire this person, how they conduct themselves, how they conduct their business, etc. So that is the reason you follow this person, because you look up to them. They are your role model. So go comment on their most recent post. All right. And immediately after that, I want you to comment on the most recent post of one of your followers. Pick the person based on who seems like a decently fitting ideal client, like loosely fits your target audience, and go and comment on that person's post. Lastly, open your voice note app and talk about what your first comment was about to the person you admire, your role model, and then talk about what your second comment was about, and talk for anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, let the thoughts flow for, if you can go longer, please do. Talk about what you commented, what you were thinking, anything else you wanted to add, which you didn't because it's a comment. So do that, and then go back, either use ChatGPT or go back yourself, look at the transcript and see what is something that you want to share your opinion about. Like, when you do a brain dump for 10 whole minutes, there's definitely something that you have shared, at least multiple opinions on something that you've talked about. Take one of them and expand on it. Now you can do this in writing, audio, video, whatever you feel like, whatever feels comfortable to you. Take it, do that. Just do these 3 things: 2 comments and 1 brain dump of what you thought about the comments that you've posted. If you don't need any more guidance on these, then you can turn off this podcast and get into taking action. Go comment on 2 posts and do a brain dump for about 10 minutes. That's it. I'd very much appreciate it. Trust me, I will not feel sad upset, or anything if you drop right now, because I don't have this podcast because I just love to talk. Like, that is never the intent. The only reason I chose this medium is because I want you to do the things and sign that client, and the podcast, the speaking, the audio way is the way I can do it with ease outside of coaching you one on one. And that is why I have a podcast. So go on, take action. But if you're here and you want more information on how you can do this with a little bit more ease without having to go research it, etc., that's so typical of us introverts to want to put our best foot forward. So go do it the best way, and that is why research, etc. Let's dive in, okay? So the very first thing is to comment on the person you admire most, okay? Comment on your admired experts post, the most recent post. I don't want you to go scrolling because that can take you away from taking action. That can also probably make you feel like you haven't reached that level. When will you reach that level? Maybe you're not, it may impact you taking the action. So I want you to just go to the most recent post and comment. Now, I'm not asking you to say, wow, this is so insightful, helpful, or any version of that. That kind of comment is not going to help you in moving the needle. The goal is not just commenting, okay? So, in fact, as an introvert, if you consume content, a lot of content also, it takes away from your energy. You're giving up energy. So, mindlessly consuming content is not really in your best interest. Yes, I get it. The mindless scrolling feels like unwinding, but it's not when you're consuming a lot of content. So I don't want you to just comment for the sake of it, and I don't want you to scroll their feed completely. What I want you to do instead is to share your views and insights on the topic that they have created the post on. You can tell them that you agree or disagree with the topic, not with them, but you agree or disagree with the idea or concept or topic, and share your reasons. Explain how your perspective helps you serve your clients more effectively. So you can also mention outcomes you've seen with your clients because of your approach. Like, this is a great place. However, I want you to understand that most platforms, Facebook lets you create a huge wall of content in the comments. So amazing place to share everything. But Threads, Instagram, I don't know about LinkedIn. I believe LinkedIn is very similar to Facebook. So depending on your platform, you may not have a lot of space. So tailor this to your platform, but try to mention how this, whatever you're sharing, the opinion, is helping your clients, helping you help your clients, etc. So talk about how your lived experience or client work, etc., has shaped your thinking. Like, what makes you think differently if you have a different opinion from what the person has shared. Talk about it, how you got it. So make sure to, again, tailor it. Sometimes you may have to share multiple comments. Like, if you're on Instagram or Threads, you may have to share it in multiple comments, and that is completely okay. They are going to, the person who's posted it, they're going to appreciate your comments because it increases the comment count, which means the algorithm will favor them. So do not hesitate. But there are some things that I want you to not do. Okay, see, the intention here is not to hijack their post or prove that you're right or you have the best thing. It's more about stepping into your thought leadership and using their platform as a way to reflect on your own thoughts and beliefs and values, etc. So, what I don't recommend you do, first of all, is please do not present it as an argument because you are on their profile. Simply present it as a different opinion that you're sharing because you want to have a conversation about it. You're curious about what else they may have to say on the topic, and that is why you're sharing your opinion. You're like opening a conversation. If all you have to do is say amazing and walk away, then there is really no conversation happening. I don't know how others would handle it, but when you just say wow, amazing, Seema, and walk away, all I can say is thank you. So please don't do that. Please share what you think, why you think, and how your thoughts help your clients. This positions you as an expert in your field. That person who you admire will not look at you as just another follower, but will look at you as a peer. Even though they are probably ahead of you in business, this could open up ways for you to collaborate with them. So there are so many things. Like I have so much, but I want to stay on topic, and I want to, like, I don't want this to go really long. So let's see what I recommend you do not do. The second thing, I just have three of those because, like I said, I have multiple things to cover. So please do not try to water down your thoughts. Okay, that's the second thing. That's very important that I want you to make note of. I want you to be respectful but not vague. Okay, so you're posting not just to engage with the person, you don't want to just help their algorithm, you also want to connect with the people who are going to read through the comments. I don't do this much on Instagram. I somehow don't connect with the app as much, but on threads, I'm not just reading what the person wrote, I'm reading all the comments as well because I'm curious, like, what is this bringing? What are the different views that are coming up? So you're creating the content to connect with the person whose post it is and to connect with the people who may be reading the comments. So try to be clear in what you're saying. Like, don't expand too much. Share the most basic thing and share it with full clarity. All right. And the third thing I don't recommend you do is to not pitch or promote there. Okay. Please use that space to get people to visit your profile, which means you can say something like, I recently posted on this topic on my profile. Here's the gist of it. So if you have talked about that topic, or share your view right there. But please don't say, DM me if you want to know more about this so that you can share your podcast or whatever. Like, use it to start a conversation and then invite them, like, nudge them into checking out your profile, your podcast, whatever, but don't make it where you pitch or promote yourself. All right. So that is what I have to say about commenting on the post, on the most recent post of the person you look up to in your area of expertise. Now, let's talk about commenting on your followers' content. So, I want you to be mindful about whose profile you're commenting on. We want to connect and get to know people. Again, the goal isn't to say, hey, want to work with me? Like, I don't want you to lead with that. Okay? So, this is, I'll be honest, this commenting on your followers' content is a sneaky way to get in front of this person. I'm not at all going to deny that fact, because when you comment on someone's content, you see more of their content, and I believe they see more of your content too. So you want to get in front of this person, and that is why you're commenting. But this also helps you learn more about your audience, even if they are not um, commenting on your content, liking your content, responding to your polls, etc. Like, they probably are not even seeing your content. And to get in front of them, you have to leverage the algorithm. So this is going to help you get in front of them and get to know them. It is going to help you curate content based on how they respond. Like, when you get in front of them and then the algorithm puts you in front of them, they're going to engage with your content, and that is going to help you curate content. Okay, so it helps you build relationships. Now, there may be a possibility that the person you think is an ideal fit to be a client may never become a client, but you both could collaborate and that way grow together. Like, it's a connection. It's less about converting that person, it's more about building a connection. Okay, so overall, the two comments that you're going to post is going to grow your network. How this relationship progresses and where it takes you is not necessarily known to me right now. Maybe if we are talking as, like, if you were my client, then I would know and I could guide you. But even if you don't know, go with this action. When commenting on your followers' content, you can take a backseat and act more like a casual person. So, what a beautiful picture or thought or idea is a great comment if you don't have much to say on the topic, okay? Because it could be like, I'm a business coach and I work with VAs and bookkeepers and different kind of expertises, and I don't necessarily understand their area of expertise, and I honestly don't want to. I want to stay in my lane. So saying something about just their picture rather than the educational content that they've shared is enough in that moment. So just take in what they're saying and share your appreciation for their knowledge. All right? That is all that you have to do. The two comments. Okay, if you're saying, I don't know how to talk to people, then I want you to remember this. You feel like you don't know what to say, how to comment, mainly because you are looking at how to respond from the perspective of the sponsored content or ads or marketing messaging that you have consumed, which is saying you're leaving money on the table because of these actions. The moment you get that out of your mind and behave like a regular human, like, think about it. If you met the person in front of your car, both of your cars are parked side by side in Target, and you both are standing, and you notice something like that person has picked the same ornament that you have picked. Wouldn't you say, like, at least look at them and smile? You wouldn't like think about how can I convert this person into a client. You would just smile. Oh, that's a cute ornament, isn't it? Something like that. That is what you're looking at. You're not looking to create content that will make sure you never leave money on the table. Like, get that thing out of your mind. Be a normal person. Be a human being. Be someone who interacts. And I tell you, it gets easier the more you do it. It's very hard in the beginning. It feels too awkward, especially for introverts. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. The easier it gets because you notice things that you can say, that you can compliment on, that you can recommend someone something about. So don't overthink it. You just have 30 minutes to complete all these 3 steps. So, like, let it be the fast and simple. Okay, and the last action, it is to establish you as the authority. See, you and I won't write books on, say, paleontology. I'm not an expert on the subject, and if you're listening to me, then I assume you aren't either. But there is a tiny possibility that I could write a book on motherhood. Having been a mother for over a decade means I have some thoughts. I can confidently speak about aspects of motherhood. So that is what I want you to look at. Like, that is how I want you to look at your long form content. Like, that's the purpose of your long form content, to set you up as the authority. I recommend you do this just once a week. You don't have to do multiple times. And then, if you feel comfortable, which believe it will happen really, really soon, post snippets from this long form content on other days on your social media platforms. Okay, but share your thoughts, recommendations, bust some myths, share common mistakes clients have been making before they work with you, etc. So, how can you get started? By looking back at your comments. Like I mentioned before, after commenting, open your voice notes app and speak about what you thought about the post you commented on and what made you respond in the way that you commented. And I'm sure you'll find something to talk about. I'm very, very confident. There'll be something that you'll talk about for the longest time in your note. It could be for 30 seconds, it could be for 2 minutes. Take that thing, that point, that topic, whatever, and elaborate on it. Now, if you don't know how to elaborate on it and have never downloaded a content strategy hack or template, then use the simple outline. Okay, so introduce the topic that you want to talk about, then talk about a common myth or a mistake you see people make that you have, like, mention it. I've seen my clients do this. Okay, always using the right words creates a different impact. So use those words. Okay, and then share your recommendation and share it like, if you are my client, this is how we would work on this together. Okay, and then close it with an invite to the reader, listener, whatever form of content you're creating, to share something like, say something like, do you prefer it this way or that? That is all. That is your call to action that everybody wants you to have. Okay, it's very simple. It can be really, really simple, and if it is not feeling simple, please keep simplifying it till it becomes something that you can do. Okay, and do this weekly. If you feel like there's not so much to talk about, I don't know what to talk about, then I don't mind it. Do it every alternate week, but like, at least do it once a month. That is the bare minimum I want you to share. Now, you can do this in written, audio, or video format. The format doesn't matter in terms of how much reach it is going to get, because yeah, YouTube is amazing, and I can present to you 5 people who will say how amazing YouTube is. But if you have severe resistance to video, then you will not even do one every 6 months. So we are not focusing on that. The format has to be something that feels easy and doable for you, because the algorithm has an opportunity to pick up any algorithm, whether it is the Google search, the Pinterest algorithm, the podcast algorithm, whatever. Give something to the algorithm so that it can work in your favor, please. So pick the format that is going to feel easy and doable, and that will help you stay consistent. That is all. That is all you have to do daily, or at least 2 to 3 times a week, to market yourself when you feel lost about what to do with your strategy, how to implement something that is going to convert. If you just do this rather than being inside your head trying to find the next step, I promise you the least that'll happen is you will maintain any momentum that you've created rather than stopping, trying to figure this out from scratch and starting to implement everything like as if it's fresh, etc. Now, there is no denying that this could be improved on so many levels in so many ways. But remember, this isn't a tailored strategy for you. This is your bare minimum so you don't feel like you're wasting time or you've lost momentum. And this is not necessarily going to bring you clients in 7 days. I mean, that is most definitely possible. I'm not going to say it's not possible, but that does involve a bit of luck, a bit of being in the right place at the right time. But here's what I know for sure. These 3 steps, no more than 30 minutes a day, will keep you visible, will build your authority, and when done well, will create real demand for your offers. Okay? And by well, I mean you're going to be visible, you're going to start getting picked up by the algorithm, use the data, and improve. Okay? And this is also the most straightforward way to break out of action paralysis. And if it doesn't feel simple, that's your cue to send me a message on Instagram. My handle is Seema Pateel, just my name. You can find it in the show notes as well. But honestly, it should feel simple. I'm not saying it should feel effortless, but it should feel doable, aligned, and clear. It couldn't get simpler than this, but if you're still hesitating, then there's likely something going on beneath the surface when it comes to showing up, like being visible, building relationships, etc. So let me help you uncover it. You don't have to wait for clarity to magically appear. Sure, it might come eventually, but wouldn't you rather take confident action and sign a client in the next couple of weeks instead? So don't hesitate. My Instagram is open. Please send me a message. Let's have a conversation. Let me help you figure out why these 3 steps do not feel simple. Let me simplify it for you so that you can implement it, so that you can build momentum, so that you don't feel like you have to take the entire summer off and then feel like you're starting from scratch once fall is here, and again feel like you're missing out on your Black Friday opportunity, etc. So that is my invitation to you. Reach out to me on Instagram. Let me help you figure out, or even better, book a next steps roadmap call with me. Let's go really deep. Let me ask you the questions that are going to help you uncover exactly what is going on and, in fact, help you figure out the best strategy, not something that works as a stopgap. Okay? So that's your invite, and that is all I have to say for this week. I'll see you in the next week. Bye.